And then I was doing someone's celebrity talk show, like a young lady who's a singer.
I like the way you can't talk about anybody you relate to.
I don't know how to describe Kelly Clarkson.
100%. Cheers.
This podcast is brought to you by Noom. I have been putting on weight like crazy. I have. And it's because of this arm. And I talked to Tom about it, and Tom said, it's about dieting. You got to really check your diet. And my problem with me is I don't know what is a good food and what is a bad food. I had a bowl of white rice the other day, and my wife lost her mind. I feel like I'm looking for what I love about Noom is they kind of help you find the differences between the good foods and the bad foods and let you have cheat days. Not everyone wants to be on a strict diet or do 2-a-days at the gym or drink questionable teas. Instead of trying to cram your life into someone else's ideal healthy, try Noom. Noom uses a psychologically based approach to find healthier balances that is moldable to your life and as a result, more sustainable. Noom's cognitive behavioral approach helps you unlearn bad habits and better understand your relationship with food. And one size does not fit all. Choose your goals and Noom will personalize a weight loss program for you. 80% of Noom users finish the program and 60% have stuck with their goals for at least a year. Start building better habits for healthier long-term results. Sign up for your trial at Noom.com/bears. That's NOOM.com/bears. This podcast and Anytime I Eat Raw Fish is brought to you by Kamikoto. Kamikoto knives are fucking dope, okay? That's all there is to it. These are the slickest knives you're ever going to find. I have, first of all, when they show up in these badass, like, wooden boxes. So you open it up, it's almost like Pulp Fiction. Light shines at you. I use their steak knives. They're my go-to steak knives. And by the way, I bought so many pairs, I just have steak knives aplenty. I have their long, like samurai blade, and that's what I cut fish with. Oh my God. You're doing it right. They make an amazing gift. What are they supposed to say? These are used by several chefs working in Michelin star restaurants around the world. They make a great gift. I just said that. Because of the wooden box. That's what I said. The knives are presented in. Dude, they do make crazy Christmas gifts. You can maintain the edge of the blade. Oh, that's right. You get a whetstone. That's WHET stone. Kamikoto is so confident about their knives that each knife comes with a lifetime guarantee. If you go ahead and buy now, Kamikoto is offering our listeners an extra $50 off site-wide. That's awesome. On top of their biggest sale of the year, go to kamikoto.com and use the code CAVE for an extra $50 off. That's KAMIKOTO.com/cave. That's KAMIKOTO.com/cave. Kamikoto. You're going to love these fucking knives. I don't know how to start when Tom's not here.
I'll start.
We've started.
All right. Welcome to Two Bears, One Cave. It's a pleasure.
Two Bears, One Cave.
Thank you for inviting me. I really do. I love it when I come in. I've not been here since I was sick with COVID. When you told me,
oh my God, that's the last time we did something together.
I saw you at your award ceremony, but the last time we did something together was this, and you told me I could spit in your mouth, and the next day I was sick with COVID.
And I said I was indestructible. Remember that?
It seems like it.
I was like, you can't kill me. And then you said to me on the phone, well, it looks like we'll be testing that Mickey Mantle gene out, huh? Get yourself tested for COVID. I'm pretty sick.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was not good. We still have fucking COVID around. It's so exhausting.
It's exhausting. And I feel right now we're sort of in this surge, right? Peak of it. People are starting to lose their shit again. You noticed?
Yeah.
I literally, somebody got in my face in New York, and then social media is getting sort of nastier and weirder. They're losing their shit.
I mean, I did a show at the Hollywood Improv last night, and you had to have a vaccination card to get in. Here's the thing is obviously I'm vaccinated and I feel comfortable. I feel more comfortable there. But
because you're vaccinated.
Because I'm vaccinated, but I also feel like I don't know. I wish I had like legit like stand your ground policies, but I don't. I'm kind of like,
no, I think listen, the worst thing you could be right now, the highest probability of you being wrong is you being certain.
Yeah.
In other words, if you're certain of what's going on, COVID, what you should take, not take, high probability you're gonna end up wrong. This thing, highly unpredictable, certain therapeutics we don't know. We're gonna find out. It's still a moving ball rolling downhill. We don't know.
All right,
and so be reasonable is what I'm asking for.
Let's
people.
talk about Rogan then.
Let's talk about Rogan.
Because it's so interesting to see all the media outlets almost rooting for him to get sick.
Not just rooting for him to get sick. I've seen lots of explicit wishes for him to die of it. This is the world we are in right now. That is disgusting. It is disgusting that people feel at their liberty to go, hey, you're a sick person. I hope you die of that illness. I don't care what it is. That's disgusting.
I haven't seen people hoping for sickness since when Donald Trump got it.
It happened to me too.
I remember when you got it, and I remember when obviously we just talked about that. I remember when you got it, and then people being like, "Oh, so I guess it's not the common cold, Drew."
Right. Or going to trips to Mexico, which was 4 months earlier, or 3 months earlier, had nothing to do with how I got it. Got it from the hospital.
It sucks so bad because obviously Rogan's one of my best friends. I love that guy.
You need to help me with him because I'm a huge fan of his, and he's got some sort of weird hard on for me.
Joe's
we were friendly years ago, and
the best part about Joe coming out with COVID and saying all his treatment therapies, and then is the best part is I go, oh cool, so you guys finally know my friend. This is the guy I've been friends with for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
This is who he is.
Yeah.
My dad's like, do you hear what he's on? And I was like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, me too.
Like that's, by the way, that's Joe Rogan.
And by the way, tracks with the way he thinks, sort of, I don't want to say it other than this, scientifically.
Yeah.
That's what he thinks. We don't know about this, I'll try it.
He's the guy that, I mean, I don't want to give away too much of his secret sauce, but he's the guy that has spent almost a full month at three atmospheres under the sea in a hyperbaric chamber because it's with oxygen, and like he is that canary in the mine for all of that.
But I would argue that he is very thoughtful and knowledgeable about the stuff he's doing. So everything he took, by the way, I sign off on. Everything.
Really?
I have not only do I not I was like good and interesting idea with the NAD infusion. I was like, that's a great idea.
Well, the NAD infusions is I got fucking hammered the other night. Like I'm talking hammered, and I've had diarrhea for 7 days hammered. Like the kind of hammered where you can't see past your knees and you're just like, okay, all right. And I got and I was during Go Big show in Macon, and I got a IV, and I bounced right back. And
IV of NAD?
No, I didn't, but the woman giving it to me goes, have you ever had the NAD infusion? And I said, no. She goes, it's a 2-hour drip, but I'm telling you, you will feel fucking amazing.
It's crazy. It is. We don't even really know why, but it does work.
What?
I take nicotinamide riboside, which is an oral version of that. And there's also nicotinamide mononucleotide that's also looking good. These things reverse, maybe delay aging.
Well, I first heard about it from female celebrity comics. If you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, same one that uses a little of the peptides.
Yeah. She got me, and she was like, "You need to get on it."
Yeah.
And then I heard Rogan was like, "Yeah. I have them come over. We do a drip every now and then." For some reason I thought they blew it up your nose.
No.
I don't know why. And then I was doing someone's celebrity talk show, like a young lady who's a singer.
I like the way you can't talk about anybody you relate to.
I don't know how to describe Kelly Clarkson.
Okay, go ahead.
And she swears by it. Gwen Stefani was like, all these people are like, oh yeah, you feel fucking awesome.
So here's it. We don't know the long-term effects on it. It's not really been studied. I mean, you talk about EUA and emergency approvals and FDA. This really isn't fully approved yet. So we don't fully know the extent, but it's looking really, really good, number one. And then number two, just the idea that people are doing all these crazy things is a little concerning, right? Because it's not properly been studied. But I sign off. Listen, when you're sick like that, I sign off what he did. First of all, remember when I was sick, I kept talking about the monoclonal antibodies. And I got him on day 5, prevented me from going to the hospital. He got him on day 1. Super smart. Sign off on that completely. He took a anti-helminthic medication for roundworms. By the way, this medicine that begins with an I.
Yeah. Allen Iverson.
Rhymes with pectin. We can't say it because YouTube will put us in jail if we even say the word. Think about that.
That's cool.
And it's a medicine.
That's really cool. Thanks, YouTube.
It's a medicine I have prescribed for years.
Really?
Oh, you guys are going to love this. I used to. It's already burst intrigue.
Please say Steven Adler.
So when I was a resident, there was an El Salvadorian civil war going on at the time. We had lots of people coming up from Central America and Mexico, and we saw Nad, prepare yourself. Images: Ascaris lumbricoides. We saw lots of Ascaris lumbricoides.
I will eat my flip flop if that comes up.
Oh yeah, of course. There it is.
Shut up. How did you do that?
And they get the images. And there it is. That's Ascaris. People were shitting that all over the place.
I'm not eating anything.
All the time.
Well, why are they shitting that?
Because that worldwide, that's one of the leading worm infections, and it gets into your GI system. And we would use this medication and also something called mebendazole, and it worked great. And it never harmed anybody. And
Really?
And I took it when I was sick because I thought, I did almost exactly what Joe did. I took steroids, I took the eye medicine, and I took monoclonal antibody. Now, I am not convinced that this medicine that I've used for years really does anything. I don't think so. I think once we have real antiviral medicine, this whole thing will just go away.
Yeah.
But isn't you like that?
That's insane.
Yeah.
Now, wait, so
You don't realize that we don't have real shit here in this country compared to elsewhere.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, don't even get me. We'll talk about China in a second.
Okay.
So that's insane. So, but what's crazy is that this virus has become politicized.
Which not just the virus, but the treatments and how doctors behave. It's bizarre.
And
Here's the thing: because Rogan didn't get vaccinated. I think he didn't get vaccinated, right? I'm just guessing. And he took some treatments that were not considered approved or were questionable. That makes him right? Does that make him on the right side or left side? Why does that even mean anything? That's so weird, isn't it?
you know what's
By the way, you got to get me on the show. I'm dying to go on the show. I'm such a fan of his, and I've just been out of touch for like 10 years or 15 years. And I think I think his beloved weed is like a problem or something.
I think back in the day, I think that was what he thought, but I don't think he thinks that now. Like, he can't. I mean, because no one thinks that weed's the gateway drug that we thought it was.
Well, it works. It's different. It's not what he thinks I think it is. It's just I had people that were addicted to it and had trouble getting off. And there's only a certain percentage of people that get that.
Yeah.
And it was awful. It was
Eric
hard to
Roberts.
Eric Roberts
Eric
is
Roberts is such a talented actor.
Oh, my God, isn't he?
He is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Wait, I just got a message from Eric Roberts. Maybe it was a dream.
Oh.
I've been confusing dreams in real life a lot lately. Is that bad?
I'd say so.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, reality testing off. I mean, what the hell? There's
Eric Roberts is such a good fucking actor.
Yeah.
But but it's crazy that, like, I remember when I got vaccinated, I wouldn't tell people I gotten vaccinated.
You wouldn't tell people you got vaccinated. Why?
I wasn't comfortable sharing that.
Why?
I don't know. I just didn't want to tell people I got vaccinated because I felt like it was a privilege thing.
What?
Because was
that before it was widely distributed?
No, it was before I went to Serbia, though.
Well, I was going to say the only reason I here's what Joe can now look forward to: broad immunity sustained probably over time, probably.
Yeah.
And in about 9 months, he might think about Johnson & Johnson because I took that, and it looks like that's probably your best bet after having had COVID.
I took Joe Johnson.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even tell people what I took. Like, I didn't want to tell because I thought that would be politicized. And
it would be.
Sure enough, you would be sitting there and they go, "What did you get? Moderna?" And I go, "No, Johnson & Johnson." And they go, "Oh." I mean,
incredible.
I want to get the Johnson & Johnson booster.
I do too.
When can you get?
I don't know. I'll let you know when it comes around.
I'm fucking ready for that.
Yeah.
But I was uncomfortable sharing any of that information with people because I just felt like it wasn't their business. Like, it was like a private thing.
Well, it is. It always has been. And all of a sudden, it's the world's knowledge, and it has a political import.
I have a buddy who's a big anti-vax. Tom Segura, you know him. And
is he anti-vax?
He's hardcore anti-vax.
Oh, no kidding. What about Christina?
God, yeah. Oh my God. Like
really?
Jenny McCarthy and her talk about it all the time.
About this vaccine, or is she all anti-vax?
Oh, they're anti-vax across the measles, mumps, smallpox.
I know their pediatrician. She's not anti-vax.
The Black Plague, No, I don't know if they're fucking Tom's anti-vax about
this
Tom
vaccine.
hasn't gotten vaccinated, but he still has antibodies. So he's like, I'm not going to get fucking vaccinated if I got antibodies.
That's right. Well, they should talk about it.
I'm joking. Tom isn't anti-vax, everybody.
There's a
God, this has caused a shit show for Tom.
I know.
He's like, real cool, Bert.
This would be.
I just called you fat.
I'm trying.
Wait, actually, that's a good thing. Tom is an anti-vaxxer, everybody. Let's give Tom a taste of his own medicine if he'd take it. You know what I mean?
So I literally know their pediatrician, and I'm like, how could no way. So okay,
but they both still have really strong antibodies.
But the test that's commercially available is no good. I got to get them a special test. It's called an additive score that really.
No, I think he went. It was before his surgery. He had that second surgery. I think he went and tested him at the hospital.
They don't have the test there. They don't have it. Yeah, so he has antibodies. That's a yes/no thing. It's not is he covered.
I'd have a hard time. I'll be very honest with you. I'd have a hard time getting vaxxed if I had COVID and had antibodies.
That's me. My antibodies are off the chain too. But you can't move. Here's what's fucked up. You can't move around without it. Like I couldn't go into a restaurant in New York without the thing.
By the way, you have you have a card?
I have a card, and more importantly, I have this.
I don't have like shit.
Look at this.
I threw that away.
A QR code.
Oh, hold on.
You threw away your card?
Yeah, I didn't know you needed it.
You're gonna need it. You got to apply at Health Vana. It's an LA County thing. Did you get an LA?
Does this work? Hang on. Does this work?
You need to apply for this.
What about this? That's my barcode for the email they sent me.
I think that's good. Let me see. Yep. I think you're good. Yep. California gave you this. All right, good. Good for you. Take a picture of it.
I have it saved on my thing.
Right now, yeah.
And so but I got the card. I just threw it away. I didn't know you needed to keep it.
Well, you did that now is what you need. So you're fine. They can give you another one with that.
I was like, you expect me to keep this piece of paper?
I know, it's weird.
I was like, are you being serious? Like, what world are we living in that all of a sudden we're going back to paper trails?
Not only paper, but paper that you can get your hands on those forms easily. They're really easy to get your hands on. And so I don't understand that. But they're giving QR codes out, and that's good. But the point is, I was in New York last week, and I had to show my QR code to get in a restaurant.
They did that at the Hollywood Improv last night, and I felt comfortable.
No, I'm glad they're doing it. I'm upset that it creates an ostracized group. I don't like that.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm not good I'm not good when it comes to political things or saying my opinions because I don't really know how I feel, and I know that my knee-jerk reaction is the wrong one. Like I go.
You should let that be a rule for life for you. So
I have shut my mouth so much on fucking topics. It's funny. I look at like I remember one time I didn't drink. Right. We were at a kid's birthday party. It was like fucking 8 a.m, and a bunch of the dads were all hungover, and they brought a thing of Jack Daniels, and they were just passing around in the backyard, laughing hysterically. Now that normally is my fucking jam. Like I love that shit.
You love morning JD?
I love getting drunk when you're not supposed to, and you didn't see it coming, and all of a sudden it's getting greenlit, and there's a finite amount of it, so everyone's racing to finish it like it's a pizza. But I had to drive. I had to drive somewhere that day, and I don't drink and drive ever. And so I didn't. I just didn't. And the dads were bummed. They were like, oh, "Come on, we thought you'd definitely be into this." And I was like, "I would, but I got to drive." So I ended up in the kitchen. With all the moms, and they found out the dads were drinking, and one of the dads has had a real problem drinking.
Oh,
and with pills.
That's not good.
And I got to sit in the room for the first time where self-righteousness was, where they're like, he has a fucking problem. And they're like, yeah, we need to do something about him. Right, Bert? And I was like, yeah. and it felt so good. It almost felt better than alcohol to be self-righteous. But and I thought you watch these Twitter mobs come after people, and there are certain sides of the fence that they can say no wrong. They can do nothing wrong. And it must be so much fun to have your politics be like, I don't care if I'm wrong because
I'm righteous.
I'm righteous, and I know that my side. Like, and by the way, it's on both sides. Like, you have Hollywood elites saying stuff like, dox this person voted for Trump, and then you have the other side going like abortion forever or whatever. I don't know.
We get you.
You know what I'm saying.
But here's the thing: humans have done this forever. We call it religion. I mean, think about it. We just used a different language. We talked about sin as opposed to Trump, MAGA. We talked about the elect rather than Democrats and Republicans. It's a effing new religion, and we need to watch out. Religious wars get fought. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Dude, when you look at I just made a conscious decision to, when I had a question, to then investigate that question and try to solve all my answers. So then my question was, who gives a fuck if the Taliban takes over Afghanistan? I'm never vacationing in Afghanistan. Sure. Like, I will never go there. I don't care. I don't know anyone. I actually don't know anyone who's
Just
Afghanistan.
Don't tweet that.
Right?
Just don't tweet it.
Yeah, right. And so then, but I'm sitting laying in bed trying to write a joke about it. Everything always stems to like, how can I write a joke about it, right? So I'm like writing the joke, and then I go, actually, I don't know anything about the Taliban. Like, I actually know nothing about the Taliban. And then I go, and I know even less about Afghanistan. Like, I don't even know
where it is.
I don't even know where it is. And I go, it's got to be in the Middle East or Africa or something. And then I'm like, wait, I don't know anything about this one place. And then I find out it's next door to Pakistan.
Correct.
And I go, I did a speech on Pakistan when I was in ninth grade. And I just was like, it was like the worst speech I've ever done in my life. 5-minute speech. And I was like, holy shit, I don't know where Pakistan is. And then I was like,
India.
So then I start researching the Taliban and why and what is wrong with what it was. And then as you do just a little bit, you're like, can't believe I was going to tell people nothing's wrong with the Taliban. Like, Jesus Christ. like these fucking guys are animals. Like, they're not only like, they're like the worst type of human being you could ever have, right?
Yeah.
Very little education. Like, maybe a first grade reading level. Like, we're talking about first graders with big dicks and beards.
A friend of mine was in the Army Rangers and was working with them, trying to teach them trying to create an Army force. He said they couldn't sign their names.
Yeah.
It was this X.
I said someone called them a dirt farmer, and someone goes, "That's actually a step up from what they are." Oof. Like they don't. And by the way, this is military. This is a military guy that I was talking to, and he goes, "Man, I've been in Afghanistan." Yeah. He goes, "It was like a losing battle." And then I found out how the Taliban started. The Taliban started because of the Mujahideen. And the Mujahideen, Russia, back in the day, here's what's amazing. This is what's amazing. So I'm about to make the statement, fuck Afghanistan.
Right.
I don't know anything about Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And then I find out in 1960, Afghanistan was one of the most progressive places.
And beautiful.
And developed. Yeah. And developed. And women had rights.
Yes.
And they could fucking ride bikes in the street.
They had an
and
economy.
they didn't have to show their face.
Yeah.
They had an economy. They had a king who said, here's the deal. In order for my country to grow, I need to let the people of my country run my country. I need to let them grow. So first king in history, I'm going to pull back my power and give it to the people. So now I'm just like a head of state, like you. I'm just like a figurehead. I want you guys to do that. And it took fucking off. And it was amazing. And then the big problem was they played Russia and United States against each other. All their kids could go to the United States and get educations, and all their soldiers were getting trained, could get free training in Russia. Yeah. And it was the Cold War really fucked them. And then Russia invaded, and Russia was fucking animals to Afghanistan. I mean, just horrific. Yeah. And that started this religious fervor, which Taliban was all those kids whose dads were in the Mujahideen. They went to. Here's the other thing that I learned. The fucking line for Afghanistan and Pakistan is just some British guy that went, that'll do. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that.
A lot of the Middle East is that way.
All of the Middle East. And they only did it that way to split up tribal people so that they could control them better. And I'm like, shut the fuck. So then you hear things about white people being bad. I'm like, oh, it's starting to crack.
No, yeah. Churchill was involved with that.
Churchill just goes, those guys look a lot alike. Let's cut them in half. Is fucking crazy. And then you go from writing a stupid joke in bed, going,
guys look a lot alike.
Yeah. and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, man, how would you fix that? There's no way to fix it now. I mean,
you know what's happening to me, by the way, it makes me think of this whole religious stuff. I've lost friends over this, and people I really like, and I don't even know why. I don't know what it is I've said or done, and I would happily make an amends or adjust my position if I said something that is offensive. I was just thinking about Kathy Griffin, and Kathy's been through a tough thing lately. She had her lung removed for cancer. For cancer, yeah.
I didn't know she had her lung removed.
She had a lobectomy, yeah. And
okay.
And she had a lot of feelings about Afghanistan, and she's not been talking about it lately. It's sort of odd because she was the one that first alerted me just exactly what you're talking about. And David Allen Greer is another one. He was like a dear. I consider him a good friend. He will not. He just rags on me on Twitter constantly. It's weird. Rogan was kind of another one.
Wait, and I don't know what was Kathy Griffin's stance on Afghanistan?
particularly she was upset about how they treated women. I mean,
Oh
she
my
just thought it
God!
was just
By the way,
unbelievable.
their treatment of women is atrocious.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a law right now. Women can get beaten up in the streets if they are showing their face, or if they're riding a bike, or if they're doing anything that
music is outlawed.
Music's outlawed. Pets are outlawed. You can't have a fucking pet. They're going around killing dogs just because you had a dog. And then there was a guy that was rose to power for a period of time, and the reason that he did is he started this like clique of him and his friends throwing acid in the faces of any woman showing their face. If a woman gets raped in Afghanistan,
It's her fault.
It's her fault.
Yeah.
It's her fucking fault. I don't know.
You're going to become politically active.
But I'm not. But see, that's the other thing is I don't ever want to it's so nice when you don't know shit, and it's just to be like
to be clueless.
just to be clueless and be like, whatever. Yeah, I guess everyone's having a hard time.
Somebody else take care of that.
Yeah. I'm not going to waste my time thinking about Afghanistan, and then all of a sudden you learn something, and you go, now I can't stop thinking about the people
I'm going
there.
to tell you that we could use a dose of minding your own business, or keeping things local at least.
Yeah,
Because we're so busy on the international scale, we don't really take care of what.
I mean, our homeless situation is fucking.
It's insane. It's insane to me that we have 150,000 people living on the streets in the greater LA area, and we have.
I heard Austin's worse.
I hear it's bad.
I heard Austin. Tom said he really regrets moving there. That he wished he had never followed Joe, and he wished he had gotten vaccinated. And Tom, well, he said that privately. You don't put that in the show.
So
Look, Nadav, that's a joke Nadav didn't laugh at because someone just signed a lease.
So we have no water, we have no electricity, and we have carbon going into the atmosphere with forest fires because of lack of forestry management that exceeds decades of car carbon production. Automobile carbons can't even keep up with what's going on with the forest fires. It's such a mess. Anyway, let's talk about cheating.
Let's talk about cheating.
Let's talk about it.
Jesus.
Yeah, what's going on? Hey, by the way, before we do, we're signed off on Rogan. You cool? You understand? Any questions about that? What he did was exactly right, and not just right, but kind of intriguing in that he added the NAD and all that stuff to it. If I had access to that, if I get sick again, I would think about that.
I honestly, I care less about his medical regimen because I go, that's Joe. It's always been Joe. And Joe does what he does. He does his own research. Yeah. He knows he asks a million questions. Yeah. I had a conversation one time. I said, you are the most inquisitive person I know. You're the most curious individual I know.
That's what makes him a great talker.
And that's what makes him a great, he genuinely is curious about things. And I think that's my thing is I want to be more curious about stuff.
You're curious. You're good.
I'm curious about fucking weird stuff.
That's true.
My curiosity is not super healthy. If you saw what my recent YouTube searches, you'd be like I got really curious about caviar the other night.
Why?
I don't know. I just thought I haven't had enough caviar in my life. And so I was like, I need to get more caviar. And then I was like, hey, I don't know anything about caviar. And then I started researching caviar. And then I was like, I need some fucking caviar. Next thing you know, $1,000 later, I bought a bunch of caviar to get delivered to the house. And then
what kind? How'd you decide?
I just bought it all, Drew.
Oh.
I'm fucking.
So you have a spending problem, too.
Oh,
dude.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. My website, bertbertbert.com, was made by Squarespace by my wife. That is how accessible Squarespace is. It is, you can take anything and turn it into a new website. Showcase your work, your blogs. My wife did it herself. Now, if my wife, who does not know how to work a remote on a television, can put together a website, that shows you just how amazing they are. They have 24/7 award-winning customer service, which my wife abused. She called them nonstop. Beautiful templates created by world-class designers, a powerful e-commerce functionality that lets you sell anything online, which has been amazing for us on our merch. Customize the look, the settings, the product. So it's just with just a few clicks, everything's optimized for mobile right out of the box. A new way to build domains and choose from over 200 extensions. Make it yourself. Easily create a website by yourself and make it stand out. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BEARS to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com and enter the promo code BEARS. This podcast is also brought to you by Raycon. I fucking love my Raycon earbuds. These things are out of this world, and I'll tell you why. They're not as expensive as the average earbuds, and they work just as well. And if you're like me, I like to have 2 sets of earbuds. I can't always remember that I'm going to charge one or that I'm not going to rip them out of my ears and throw them in my pockets. And so I like to have them on lock. Now, I have 4 pairs of Raycons, and I keep them all charged so that as I go to the gym, I can just grab a pair and run and go. They're super sleek, so they fit in my ears. And now that I'm home with Leanne, I can throw them in my ears and listen to a podcast as I sleep. The other earbuds I could feel in my ears. These are so sleek. They go right in and boom. And I have audio tested them versus all the high-end expensive ones. Dude, the same. In my opinion, the exact same. They are half the price of premium audio brands, but they sound just as good. Create your own soundtrack with Raycon. Right now, 2 Bears listeners can get 15% off their Raycon order at buyraycon.com/bears. That's buyraycon.com/bears to save 15% off Raycons. buyraycon.com/bears.
How does Leanne live with you?
How does she live with me? I don't know.
You're such a lucky dude. You're beyond lucky.
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know if I'm lucky.
Why? You're lucky
She
that
posted a picture on her Instagram of it's glass half full mentality.
Okay.
And she posted a picture on her Instagram of me and her when we were dating when we were younger.
I saw it.
And I was like,
it was a great picture.
And it was a great picture. And my glass half full brain
There it is.
was like, oh my God. Like, she's like, look how young we were. And I was like, young? And I was like, fucking Jesus Christ. You don't even look like that person anymore.
Oh, wait, talking about yourself or her?
Which one makes it less offensive?
Oh my God.
I mean, it's insane.
You look like
I look like I grew into my mouth.
Yeah, you're right. Your head got a lot bigger.
I
don't know what that's all about, but your head got bigger, you got fatter. She was hot then, she's hot now. I mean,
she's hot now. She's okay. Like, but that was a fucking smoke show. Like, that was the fucking. And then I just go, oh, so it's just downhill from here. Like, when do you get comfortable just getting old and going, that's it?
Never, because it starts your brain going, oh, what's ahead? That's where your brain immediately goes, like, oh shit, what's 70? What's 80?
See, and that's where I start going, like, I don't know. I just don't want, like, it is.
Talk to
crazy.
Joe. You'll get you some infusions to push the aging back.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, is it crazy for me to start saying to Leanne, like, yo, let's start finding things to do to make us look young again? Like, because when you start looking in the mirror and you see, like, for me, I have I have all these sunspots from growing up in Florida.
Yeah.
That I go, oh, this is like, I go through hair and makeup now for the first time in my life. I go through hair and makeup and I'm like, my eyes are fucking bloated. I have sunspots all over my head. I've got fucking darkness, sun damage all on my forehead. My hair's thinning. And then I start going, okay, is there something wrong with me wanting to run back the clock and get hair transplants and
no, there's nothing wrong with it.
Do like all
appeal
and get my skin done and go on steroids and I'll tell you what, this really fucked me up.
I'm sure.
This is the first time that I've ever felt one foot in the grave. I've done so much dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
So much dangerous stuff. I can't even vocalize how often I've put my life on the line or my well-being on the line and just got away with it.
Yes.
Meaning got in the van at the end of the day, had a beer, and was like, that was a close call.
Just the bear story.
Just the bear story. Swimming in with great white. Like, you look at that kid Poopies who got his hand bit in the jackass thing, and he's like trying to regain mobility in his hand, and you go, it's not supposed to happen for jackass. They all get away safe. Mm-mm. And so this was the first thing where I was like, oh man,
especially when it was painful after surgery. That's when you start thinking about that stuff. So what you kind of have to do is prepare for 60, right? That's kind of what you have to do. Why? Why is that so?
Jesus Christ. I'm preparing for 50.
No, I think you got to go a little bit further downstream. And that meaning, what I'm thinking about is, how old are you now?
48.
Yeah. So what's 12 more years of alcohol going to do to me? Because
why are we doing that?
I'm just saying, if you want to actually prepare for it.
That's what my cardiologist said. Is he goes, it doesn't end well with alcohol.
Right.
Like, you may not die from it, you may be fine with it, but he goes, we all know how this book ends.
Yeah. And there's ways to moderate it so you don't get all the physical effects. You could do the injectables and get your hair stuff, but you don't want to look like you're trying to be 30.
I don't want to look like that.
You just want what I think in terms of how can I look my best and feel my best the longest, because eventually it just a shit falls apart.
Yeah.
So you when you're 75, 80, it's just all over and you just let it go.
God.
But how do you get to your 60s being kind of okay? And a lot of it is diet and exercise. A lot of it is.
I can't really exercise. I can
can
walk
run.
on the tread. I can't run. They're not letting me run yet.
You can bike.
I can't bike because of this. I can't do
You
anything.
can do the incline bikes,
I could. I would. Yeah, if I'm.
Or how about a
fucking-
Stairmaster?
Talk about prepare for 60. Jesus.
Stairmaster? Dude, I'm trying to get you in the right zone.
I can get on a treadmill at an incline of I can do an incline, but
Or Stairmaster. Do a stairs.
my thing right now is I want to change. I really want to overhaul my diet. Meaning
Yeah, but if you keep drinking, that is rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, as we say.
Okay. Yeah, but the Titanic's gonna sink, so might as well make sure we have deck chairs. Okay.
Touche, sir.
Listen. Let me tell you something. If you're on the Titanic and you don't know it's sinking, and you see no deck chairs, you're like something's wrong.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I hear
but
you.
if you see deck chairs, you're like this isn't gonna sink.
So you don't want to care. All right.
I want to look at life going, it's not gonna end. Are you kidding me? Yeah, we were talking about cheating, and I go, I could not cheat even a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like meaning any bit of it, because if I do, wheels are off and I'm done. And I'm fucking everything.
So and part of being on YMH is like committing and exposing everything. And
Yeah.
so I'll share with you, I feel exactly the same way.
Okay.
In that it's something about if the plane gets past, then many planes should a difference to make.
Yeah.
Once you've passed the pain, you're past. You've done that. You've done it. You're in that zone where you do that. I don't think women feel the same way at all. At all.
Really?
No, they're
you
more
mean?
like trying to get their needs met, or maybe there's something exciting about it. It's just for them it can be definitely a momentary thing.
I was thinking today on the ride here, for Leanne, it would be like we're going through this thing right now. I don't know if she'd be entirely comfortable with me sharing this.
All right, so you will.
But we had to talk about it last night about because we built a new house and I had nothing to do with it because I was in Serbia and we moved in and I was
Oh, you're in the new house now?
What's that?
You in the new house now?
Yeah, we are. We're in it.
You're still
100%
in the
now.
valley, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Why did you stay in the valley? That was the most confusing thing to me.
I don't know.
Okay.
Leanne likes being around our friends.
Okay.
And so I wasn't privy to a lot of the decisions made.
Yeah.
So certain things always sound like an accusation to her. And so a lot of times our
judgment,
judgment, and a lot of times her response to me on simply anything is a defensive.
Like, why did you put a door here? Oh, you don't like my doors? You don't like what I've done? Where were you when I was making the decisions? You could have been part of the decision. You didn't get a vote here because I had to make the decision.
What was the one today? I said it was. I wanted to remember it to talk about it, but I was like, I came in and I said something about, hey, where's my wallet? And she goes, how would I know where your wallet is? And I was like,
whoa.
I was like, I'm just asking yours.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, we got to stop talking to each other like that, because I think she would cheat on me if she could be around a guy that didn't accuse her all the time. Like where if she just was like, hey, it's so funny, I haven't felt accused of anything in like a week.
What else do you
I
accuse
like
her
being around this guy simply because he says, how are you feeling today?
Yeah. In other words, she needs somebody that would take care of her and not have any needs of his own.
And I think I've been
which
in
is,
this.
by the way, when you're cheating, the easiest thing in the world to do, right? Yeah. Right?
It's so nice to think of, like, I have been in need of a lot of help for everything. Like today, she goes, so when we get done, what we're going to do is we're going to move the firewood back here. We're going to set it up here. And I was like, I can't help you. She was like, why? What are you doing? And I was like, I can't lift anything. She was like, oh, that's right. And then she was like, we're going to Red Rocks. I'm at Red Rocks this Sunday. By the way, or this Wednesday. It's sold out. I sold out Red Rocks.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't wait to see that arm up on the stage.
I'm very proud.
They're not going to see you. They're just going to see the brace.
I know they've got I got the razzle dazzle coming.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Well
it started
done.
as a joke, and then all of a sudden I couldn't stop laughing at it, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm bringing the razzle dazzle arm.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'll turn it on and off throughout the show, make it a special.
You're gonna
event.
have to turn it off so people pay attention.
Can I tell you? Can we pivot on this cheating thing? Can I
We're
tell you
going back
something?
to it, but go ahead.
back to cheating. Can I tell you something that I've been having a hard time with? Is so I saw Red Rocks, and then all my my team's like, hey, we want to make an announcement that you sold out Red Rocks. I think the announcements just went up on. I'm sure it just went up on Instagram right now. But I was like, it's weird. There's this weird thing going on in comedy right now that I'm a hardcore part of, but I don't know how I feel about. Like, where it's like taking pictures of a sold out room and taking pictures in front of a sold out audience, or doing a video to show everyone you sold out. Where Ari and I were talking about it, and it's less about the comedy and more about the propaganda, the cult of personality of who I am as a comic.
I'm not following.
It's not going to make sense.
Because I like to see you in front of a big crowd. When Tom pictures that stuff, I go, oh my God, look at it. It's in a stadium. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you guys when I see that.
But I'm afraid, I'm always afraid, this is going to come out weird. And I wish I could say a name. I wish I had a name. I'll say a name. You ready?
Okay.
Because I think this guy would be comfortable. I'm saying names that I think would be comfortable with me saying them.
Okay.
Someone like who's a friend of Tom and I's, who's a pretty real guy. I'm certain at times I would never want me standing in front of a sold out audience and like my arms up in victory. Like,
yes, I understand
like
that. That's
for him to take a reflection on his career and then be like, he feels shitty now. Like,
so
like
you're worried
the other
about your peers.
I'm
You're
worried about my
your
peers.
Okay, I get it.
I'm not worried about.
No, I get that.
I don't think the average.
You
fan,
know, it's funny. I don't think about that because I don't think about comedians. You guys are all
because
together a lot.
I was on the other side of that for so long. I was on the other side of that for so long.
What about you? Like Tom does a lot of stuff in front of an empty stadium and stuff. What about that? Is that still too much?
That's
all right. Then don't do it.
That's taking a picture of the shadow of how big your dick
Yeah.
is. It's like we all know that he wouldn't take that video if there's
Right.
a look. The thing is, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not criticizing Tom because I've done it. I've done it. Everyone knows
As a fan,
I've done it
I love
a ton.
it. I love it.
As a fan, I love it. But then I started thinking, am I affecting how my peers may feel about themselves?
Yes,
Because
you are.
not everyone
you are.
gets an opportunity. Like they wanted me to do this promo video about selling out Red Rocks. And I ended up doing a version of it because I am very proud that I sold out Red Rocks because I wasn't supposed to sell out Red Rocks. But I wanted the messaging to be,
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
yeah, because that is
good.
the truth.
That's good.
Is when when this deal came through, it was initially me and Jim Jeffries were supposed to do it together, but and then Jim rescheduled, couldn't do it. His schedule didn't open up for him to do it, and they said, "Hey man, we've got this night. We don't know if you want to try to pair with someone else or do you want to try to do it by yourself?" And I kept thinking to myself, and this is the part where I want my peers to hear, is I was like, if it may be obnoxious, but with enough promotion, with enough videos of me saying Red Rock September 8th, Jimmy Buffett's there the night before, the night after, I'm going to go see Jimmy Buffett the night after, enough of that messaging, it would get to 10,000 people that would then buy tickets, and then I could sell it out. And I said, and there were people like, dude, get enough. We get it about, even the people on Go Big Show, enough. We
Enough
get
with
it.
Red Rock, yeah.
But I thought, no, that's how this works. You don't ever want someone... You don't want September 9th, the day you're leaving Red Rocks, to get a text and go, when are you coming to Colorado? And so many comics complain about that, that I wanted it to be that. And then I just felt guilty even saying I sold out Red Rocks. So I'm like, I don't want, I don't know who am I sharing that to? The people that bought tickets don't give a fuck, right?
Right.
And this is, by the way, this is my OCD brain.
It's your people wanting to do it for the industry. Blah, blah, blah,
It's
blah,
the
blah.
industry.
Yeah.
And then I go, and then I get self-conscious because I've done so much of it. I've posted videos of me and pictures of me. And by the way, I enjoy those also because it makes you feel good inside that you worked hard and you sold the tickets and you moved. You do 2 shows at the Beacon and you're like, this is an achievement. But it's really interesting. And I was wondering from like a psychological standpoint if I'm like a fucking melting down and, you know.
What?
I don't know, because I'm
fine.
starting to see everything
you're fine.
too much from the inside. Does
No,
that make
you're
sense?
fine. No, you're fine. You're a sensitive person. You're empathic. You're worrying about other people. That you're actually putting yourself in those people's position because you have been there, and you don't want to do that to them. Seems perfectly reasonable to me.
Yeah.
And the industry has its own needs. You fucking figure other things out.
Yeah.
You know, Jim. I was thinking about Jim. Jim's a friend.
Yeah.
And do you know what his original training was in? In college?
No, let me guess though.
Okay.
Because there are 100 different uniforms I can see Jim wearing in life.
Not this one.
Really?
Probably not. To me when I first heard it, I was like, really? It's so interesting.
Prenatal.
No. Musical theater.
Really?
Yes. And I was thinking, have you seen this new series Schmigadoon?
No.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to recommend it to you or not, but it made me think of him constantly. It's people get lost in a musical. It's Cicely Strong, and they're living in a musical, and it's obnoxious. And for some reason, the whole time I was thinking about Jim. That's what he did in college and stuff.
He's rearranging the decks on the Titanic. Rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic.
In terms of his life?
He still parties.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you tell him to stop drinking?
We've had conversations.
But
he controls it.
Who do you
Listen,
think
here's the
who
thing
do you
for
think
me.
drinks more, me or Jim Jeffries?
You. So,
okay, hold on. Hold on.
So here's the deal. I am not the guy that's interested in people not partying.
Yeah.
I want people to party and have a good time. And even if they have a proclivity to lose control, there's different genetics, right? Some genetics are, I love alcohol, but I can control it.
Yeah.
Some is, alcohol is cool, but when I go, I can't stop. And some are both. Okay. And you're kind of light on both, right? A little light. You're like,
I definitely can. I am definitely someone who can turn it off at the end of the night.
And so I'm interested. I'm not. If you lose control and you can't control it, I can help. Then I'm what you need. But I'm interested. I am perfectly cool with people figuring out ways to moderate if it's not losing control.
My moderation is not
the problem is your career. That's the problem. Is you're branded as the guy that drinks a lot, and you love morning JD with your buddies.
I love it.
Yeah, and so that's and the love it part is the part that you got to watch out for.
These guys have seen it in my eyes.
I know
when we have
light up
when we have a moment where we drink and I go, fuck it, let's just get drunk. It's the funnest time to get drunk.
I know.
It's the times that I don't like getting drunk are like 21st birthday. Like,
you know, the other reason I worry about so much with you so much.
Why?
I met your parents.
Oh yeah. Well, my dad was so excited to meet you.
It was fun.
He was so excited to meet you.
And they know if the gene is there, it's not super evident. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't worry that you have a huge genetic burden. That's my thing.
My moderation is not the healthiest.
Your problem is this career. Your problem is what you do for a living, and you know that. We've always talked about that.
Yeah.
And it used to be your anxiety around travel and all kind of other stuff. That seems to have kind of settled a bit, right?
It has.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just say it's settled, because I think I can see that it's settled. But you're talking about being 60 and not having bags under your eyes. You got to make some choices as we move forward.
But I'm not. My moderation is that I either don't drink at all for 3 months.
That's called abstinence, not moderation.
Yeah. I don't have moderation. I have abstinence.
You're bingy.
Yeah, I'm bingy in that.
I'm looking at.
I can tell you. By the way, can I tell you my favorite beer I've ever had in my life was during quarantine. I remember this beer so well. I didn't drink for 3 months, and then we were at our new house, and we had these ice cold beers that had been on the tour bus that someone had given us, and my buddy Leanne was and our friends were coming over, and Leanne's like, I'm gonna have a beer. You want a beer? And I was like, I'm not drinking. She was like, I know, but you can have a beer. And I was like, oh, I guess I could. And I had 2 beers quick. I had 2 quick cold beers, and they tasted amazing. And the buzz hit. And I can tell you every time I quit drinking and I had my first drink, the feelings, I sit and like poetry, and I go, let's feel it. Oh God, it feels so fucking good. You want to know? This is creepy. This is almost borderline crazy person talk. So we did the first sober October, and I hadn't taken a break from drinking in a while before that. We didn't drink for a month. I felt fucking awesome. I lost a bunch of weight, and it was the first sober October, and I did it. And we went to New Orleans, me and Armie, and we went and we had one drink together. We had our first drink together, and then we quickly had 2 more before we got onto Bourbon Street. And after the 3rd drink, it kicked in hard, right? And I this is the thought I had. There's a little girl that my daughters were friends with, who used to dance in the living rooms. Like, just out of nowhere, she just started dancing. I was like, what the fuck's wrong with this kid? She just starts dancing. And let's just call her Jade, okay? And I go, why is Jade dancing? What makes this child dance? I couldn't, and for the longest time I said to her parents, your kid just starts dancing. And they're like, yeah, he's a weirdo. And then we were on Bourbon Street, and the buzz kicked in, and I started dancing, and I go, I know what makes Jade dance. It's like this tap into, and when you're a kid, it's youthful and you're pure. But when you're an adult and you got so much shit in your life.
You rarely get that.
You rarely get that.
Yeah.
And then the buzz kicked in and I started dancing on Bourbon Street. And I was like, this is the greatest feeling ever.
Like a ballet or what kind of
I remember
dance?
the first time I ever got a buzz. The first time I ever got a buzz from booze. Alan and me came are drinking in the empty lot behind his house, Natty Lights. And his mom, we go to the front of his house, and his mom goes back, sees all the beers, collects all the beer cans, comes to the front door. We're talking to girls. We're talking to Alice, Shay. We're talking to all these girls. These are all real people's names. We're in 9th grade. She goes, boys, inside right now. We go into Alan's kitchen. We sit at the kitchen table. She dumps the beer cans on the thing, and I register that I should be scared, but I'm buzzed, and I sit back and I cross my arms and I go, I don't give a fuck. And I go, oh, this is the best feeling in the world. And I was like, I've taken all the reality of life, the reality that I will be getting in trouble for this, and I don't care. And I just remember giggling to myself going, I feel sparkly and I feel great, and I'm not worried about this right now.
So this isn't reassuring me for you, number one. Number two, those of you that wonder why people drink, then when they really like it like that, that's often their experience. They love it.
It is
love
so
it.
much
I don't
fun.
get that experience from it. I'm actually kind of jealous that he gets to
Well,
have
you
that.
just drink wine to stain your teeth. You're just like, ugh.
No,
like I drink wine. Like my mom said one time, well, I'm sure there's people that smoke weed but don't do it for the buzz. And I go, no one.
Maybe to sleep.
No one, but no
like
one doesn't smoke weed for a buzz.
For something. Yeah,
You're doing
not
it for the
'cause you
buzz.
love the taste.
No one takes a Tylenol,
Yeah.
just swishes it in their mouth and spits it out.
Yeah.
Like you take it, everything's there for coffee. It's like, I don't understand decaf.
Give me a surgery update.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
What?
I think I fucked up my thing.
Yeah.
So I just had my first physical therapy yesterday.
First?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time after the surgery.
Well, I was
you were on the road.
I was doing the show, and apparently you cannot. Not everyone takes everyone's prescription, so.
Oh my gosh.
So, he said to me, he's like, "Don't worry about it. While you're there, let's just try to get you to 90 degrees mobility."
Which you've exceeded.
I've exceeded
Yeah,
90
yeah,
degrees.
good.
And so
And you told everybody how much it hurts and your feelings about the surgery. This audience knows about it.
Oh no.
You want to tell them about it?
Yeah. What do you want to know?
It wasn't fun.
No. It was. By the way, it was. I mean, everyone knows that I was having horrific panic attacks up until the surgery.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were going in kind of good.
Oh no.
Well,
Nadav, am I being accurate? Am I understating that?
Yeah, we were all really worried about.
And my
how
number
much
had
anxiety
gotten
you had.
leaked, and so what was happening was.
You were worried about getting out, being anesthetized, right? That was one of your-
I stopped drinking. I talked to you about it.
Yeah.
And by the way, my anesthesiologist called me the night before, and he was like, I was like, just so you know, I haven't drank in like 14 days, and he was like, why? And I go,
That guy's an alcoholic.
and he goes,
because that I don't know who it is. Don't say his name.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, anesthesiologists have a high proclivity to stuff, and for him to say that is like false.
he told
It's
me, he
just-
goes, get fucking wasted tonight. Enjoy yourself with your family.
"Oh my god,
Have a couple of cocktails.
a couple cocktails, fine."
And he goes, no, he goes, don't drink anything after midnight.
"Yeah,
then,
but you if you had not taken those 14 days off, you could have had withdrawal 2 days after your surgery.
yeah, well,
Of course, you could have kept drinking. Too.
I don't have withdrawal from alcohol. I don't.
Yeah, I just you could have. Plus, you get all those. You get a bunch.
Yeah,
of
but
stuff
I don't
for
drink. I don't
anesthesia.
drink enough to have withdrawal.
All
Like,
right,
like
yeah.
I don't. I've never had
Yeah.
withdrawal.
Hear them laughing?
Yeah, but then, but no, I don't shake and I don't go like this.
right,
Like,
all right.
so like I can just stop drinking and not notice it and sleep
Okay,
well.
okay.
So, but I stopped drinking for 14 days, and he goes, oh, just have fucking cocktails.
Yeah.
He was like, enjoy yourself tonight. You're fine.
All right.
And so and my number had gotten leaked, and a couple of horrific individuals were texting. It's funny this behavior. They started off texting very nice things to me, and then I didn't reply the way they wanted replies,
Oh, geez.
or I didn't want to become their best friends.
Oh, my.
And then they started texting very hateful things to me.
Oh, my
And it was
gosh.
about my surgery and about my daughters not having. And then that's when I changed my phone
Daughters
number.
what?
Not having a father, and how funny that would be, and it's just people with horrific sensitive.
Isn't that how you and Tom talk to each other all the time?
No, that's not how Tom and I talk to each other.
Okay.
But it is how some fans think that is.
Think that you talk to each other.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and you're just like whatever. So I changed my number.
Yeah.
Thank God, and I still have that phone. Hit me up on that number if you want. People FaceTime me all the time, and I'll just answer it, and they'll be like, "Oh shit!" and then all the messages. By the way, all the messages from that were on that old number, all the messages were fucking overwhelmingly kind.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
it was just after surgery, and it meant so much to me.
Oh, nice.
So thank you,
And you were
everyone.
suffering after surgery, too.
This podcast is brought to you by Tushy. As a man who's had diarrhea for 7 days, you have no idea how awesome a Tushy is. I had it in a hotel, and I swear to God, my first thought was, I wonder if I can install a Tushy in a hotel bathroom. Because I am babied with my Tushy. I've been hands-free for like 3 years now. I don't even touch my ass. And when you think about it, touching it you're spreading crap all over. When you do the math, after you've used Tushy for long enough, you start going, yeah, what am I smearing crap around my ass for? If you got crap on your fingers, you take it to the sink and you wash it. But all of a sudden with your ass, you're like, oh, just smear it and then I'm good for the day. No, you're not. You need Tushy. Spray. It's super easy to install, right? Super easy to install, and you're getting fresh, clean water sprayed on your asshole to get this shit off. I'm telling you right now, I absolutely love my Tushy. Make the restroom, the best room, complete with a Tushy system. Tushy bidet attachments and toilet brush. And you look, just go to hellotushy.com/bears to get 10% off your order and free shipping. That's hellotushy.com/bears to get 10% off your order and free shipping. This podcast and my afternoon will be brought to you by Miller Lite. Miller Lite, in my opinion, I just fell in love again with Miller Lite. I was in Atlanta and I wanted a nice cold day beer. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to ruin my day. I just wanted to have a nice cold day beer. I cracked a Miller Lite, that iconic can. It's almost like, and I enjoyed a Miller Lite. And I thought to myself, when I get home, back to LA, I'm going to spend the day cooking out in my new grill, getting in my pool, and I want some nice, refreshing day beers. Miller Lite is my go-to day beer. Oh my God. The taste of it's so crisp, and you know it's low in calorie. It's been tasting great since 1975. So next time you're getting ready to enjoy a cold one with your friends this weekend, go to MillerLite.com/cave and find the delivery options near you. Or you can just pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time, baby. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories. I knew it. When I say low calories, I was right? 96 calories, 3.2 carbs. I didn't even read this and I knew it was right. Per 12 ounces? Miller Lite. If we have one right back there, I'll kill it right now. I got out of surgery and the nerve block fucked me up. I was not comfortable with a nerve block. Not feeling my hand was the scariest thing I've ever fucking dealt with. And the only thing that was giving me assurance was that Tom was going through it also. And and I kept thinking to myself, like, it sounds super silly, but like, Tom's my hero because I know that he had to do all this shit. And he didn't have a leg and didn't have an arm. Right. And he's gone through another surgery on the arm. I kept going, Tom did all this. Yep. If Tom can do it, you can do it. Like,
it's good. It's a reasonable
so it was like he was my lighthouse. Yeah. But that nerve block really fucked me up and hardcore anxiety attacks.
And then pain afterwards.
And then I was like, I just want this nerve block to wear off. And it didn't wear off. They were like, it should be worn off in like the next 3 hours. And I was like, cool. And they're like 3 to 6. And sometimes it lasts 48 hours, but it shouldn't last 48 hours. It should last 3 to 6, tops 12. And at fucking 12 hours, it was still numb. And I was like, all I could think is, what if they fucked up my nerve? And what if this is my forever? And I was like, if this is my forever, I was up all night. I couldn't drink. I couldn't take any pills. And I had no feelings, so it wasn't in pain, but I was losing my shit. I mean, like this all night, just touching it. And then my hand would get hot. And then I fell asleep and it fell behind the couch. Oh. And I was like, what the fuck? Oh. And I was like, oh shit. Oh. And I was like, Leanne, help me get my arm up. I couldn't move all of it was numb. Oh. And then that night, the first night, it started wearing off. And I was like, thank God. I remember twitching my hand like that. And I was like, oh my God. And I realized I told Tom, if I do ever get paralyzed, just kill me. Just come kill me because I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't fight back. I can't. The road for recovery, I don't have that ability in me. Just come in, give me a kiss on the lips, and fucking load me up with drugs and just send me the other world. I had a kid, Chase Friedman, on my podcast. He's on my podcast right now, who was a friend of mine, and he got paralyzed from the neck down.
Well, it must freak you out even to talk to him.
He's been recovering. He's recovered great.
You mean he's got his feeling back?
He's moving around. He walks.
That's crazy. That's unusual.
Well, he said something that was super prolific. They went in for the first surgery. He was partying in Philly. You can listen to the podcast. He gets into details. Partying in Philly. Woke up in the bathroom, and there were the girls around him going like, "Hey, you fell. Like, you need to get up." And he's like, "I can't move anything." And they're like, "No, you fell." And he was like paralyzed. And they're like, and then because I don't know what he said about this. I don't know, but one of the girls wouldn't call 911 because she didn't want to lose everything she'd worked for. And so we sat there for 45 minutes while they debated on calling 911.
Oh my God, he could have, if it was high enough, he'd stop breathing too.
Yeah, and so then they call 911 and they take him in. They put him into the MRI machine, and he's like, it was the worst. He goes, I couldn't move anything, Bert. They have a mask over my face because of COVID protocol, and I guess his legs were twitching, spasming, and so they had to. It was like 2 hours in there, and he said something that was so fucking prophetic. He said, when I went in for my first surgery to see if they could fuse my neck or whatever, I looked at the anesthesiologist and I thought, I hope you don't know what you're doing and you kill me right now.
Yeah.
And I had never understood that kind of talk until I had that nerve block on that arm, and I went, there is a weird part of your brain when you can't move your hand and you're trying to move your hand that really fucks with certain brains.
Your brain.
My brain. Yeah. When you go, move your hand. And I'm like, wait, how do I not know how to move my hand? How come I can't move my hand? Whew, I was a mess. And then when the nerve block started wearing off, all of a sudden I was loaded with pain.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I called you.
Yeah.
And I was like, can I smoke weed? Because my pain pills did not work.
Right.
And then they said that they couldn't just switch me off them.
That's ridiculous. I told you that was ridiculous, but they were, and so smoke the weed. If that helps, fine. What difference does it make if it's an opiate or cannabis? If that works, great.
I didn't do it. I just didn't. I just stopped taking pain pills altogether because I was like, this is stupid. I was like, I'm not going to take pain pills and fuck up my liver because I don't know what I was on, but they were like, these are really strong, so we got to get you off them soon. And I was like, I'll just get off them now. Like, I'm done. But I was in a lot of pain for a few days. I called you a couple times, and I just was like, I want something.
You needed something. They were not. I was not happy with how they were managing your pain at all.
I wonder.
It's this weird thing where you've gone from over prescribing to under prescribing. It's crazy.
I think I was being prescribed like Tylenol, like extra strength Tylenol
at the end there, and that's when you really. I can't believe you didn't smoke weed. Why not? If that works,
because that's my brain. My brain's this weird teetotaler. Is like I either am partying or I'm not partying. Like I'm either going to do it or not do it.
Right.
But I can't straddle the fence and go, I'll just take a couple hits of weed because I was like, I'll end up drinking. But and then what?
I go ahead, finish.
But the recovery's been really good. Like
good. You look great now. I mean, you've exceeded the 90 degree.
I've exceeded 90 degrees. I had my first physical therapy yesterday.
That's good.
And right now it's all about, I start lifting weights in like 2
great.
weeks.
Oh my God, that's great.
And, but yeah, what's really weird is like, I have no definition in this arm anymore.
Oh yeah.
And I have like big arms. Like I've always had strong arms. I've always grabbed weights and done buys, like just as for fun.
Yeah.
Even when I wasn't working out, I'd always bang out buys, right? And the other day I was getting in the shower and I went to wash this arm and it was just flabby. And I was like, oh, I got like a fat chick's arm. Like,
remember that, was it something about Mary where Christina Applegate is doing this to her?
Yeah.
What's this? What is this?
It's like when women go, I mean, what is this shit? It's like, that's what my arm is. And I've never had that arm. I've always just had muscle in there. And I was like, I think
it'll motivate you to work out when you're done.
Drew?
That's how to me with COVID. I started running. I started doing all kinds of stuff because you're so appreciative of having your health.
That's what that's the weird part is you become away with super appreciative of what picture is that?
Yeah, it's you with.
That's Photoshop, by the way.
Really? Or
Yeah.
it's probably not that far off. Is
It's
it?
not that far off. I didn't have to Photoshop it much. but see, like my right arm's, I've always had big arms.
Yeah.
And then my left arm has just been tiny. And so, but my motivation for health is insane. I mean, like I signed up for the New York City Marathon. I'm like,
it's all good, but you got to deal with the diet and the alcohol.
The alcohol is so hard.
I know. You love it. It's fun.
I love it. I mean, how do you watch sunsets? Like, how do you, like, I don't think I've had sober sex in fucking forever.
One of the things I was thinking about while you were talking about your arm was somehow I wanted to talk to Leanne about the cheating thing. Can we call her?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because
She's in drop squat or her workout class.
so she can't.
I don't know. I can try.
All right, let's try. Because I was thinking about the crossing the plane thing and how different women. Like I won't go to a strip club because that's that
I
same
go to strip clubs
but
a
that's
lot.
the same thing though. That's the same.
In
you're
a
like,
weird way, I can compartmentalize that.
Yeah. So-
At the last strip club I was at, there was a moment. The last time I got like a legit lap dance, there was a moment where I was like, okay, I think this is actually cheating. I was like, I don't know if you're allowed to.
Isn't that? Oh damn.
This woman did something to me that I was like, I don't want to go into too much detail, but she did something to me that I was like, no, I'm pretty certain if there weren't genes in between what's happening, that this we would be having sex.
Right. Not only that,
I'm like this. If I'm going to use this logic, then technically a condom isn't cheating. And I was like, because we're just having gene condom right now. So, like, I got to leave. I got up and I walked out. She goes, did I do something wrong? I go, nope, not at all. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. I think because I grew up in Florida, that, like, lap dances were, you just never confuse them with cheating. Like, you never.
I think more in terms of, would my partner be happy seeing me do this?
I don't think Leanne knows what goes on in a strip club.
Well,
like,
she does
me.
now.
No. She still doesn't. Even what I just described, she'd be like, huh?
Oh.
So, like, I remember for Christina's bachelor party, they got a male stripper. And Leanne's called me up. She goes, hey, they got a stripper here. Can I get a lap dance? And I was like, should we have been calling each other before these lap dances? Because I didn't know that we had to check in. I thought it was just like across the board we could get lap dances.
Now I have to talk to Leanne.
And she goes, well, I just thought I'd ask. I didn't want you to be upset. And I go, I'm not upset. You can get a lap dance. And I was like, I know you, and you're not going to like it. And she was like, what? And I was like, trust me, you are not going to like it. Like, it's not what you think it is.
Were you right?
She called me like 30 seconds later. She's like, oh my God, that was disgusting. He just was painting my face with his cock. And that's what they do. Male strippers are like, smack, 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 bitch. And like, it's a weird. I was a male stripper for a day once on a TV show, Bert. And it is crazy what women like in the bedroom versus what they like in a strip club. What they like in a strip club is to like be degraded and like, you know, basically just smack your dick in their face. I don't know. Like Leanne would never like me to go whap, 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 whap.
You ever tried it?
I have, yeah.
Okay, just checking.
But she didn't like it. But I've never connected lap dances. But at a certain age, what happened for me.
But you could relate to the fact that this thing about crossing the plane, right, we're both agreeing, we both have, and probably most men kind of have, I think, I suspect, that part of that could be even things like going to a strip club. Putting yourself in a situation.
There are guys that I think you see the side of them that would cheat when they go into a strip club.
Oh.
Like when I go into a strip club, for me now, it's mostly about having fun and being around friends. Yeah. And like last lap dance I got was a hilarious one. Do
your daughters feel cool about this?
They don't know. Well, I don't call my daughters like, hey, guess what I'm doing?
I'm just saying you talk very publicly about everything you do.
Georgia, get your sister, put her on speaker. Hold on. This girl's name's Georgia too. Hey, Georgia, talk to my daughter, Georgia. No,
By the way, they're becoming adults. I saw them at the award ceremony. You're gonna get some new territory soon.
I'm.
You ready?
I'm not like you and your wife. You and your wife were like, I'm ready for my kids to grow up. And
get out.
I am not that.
Oh.
I don't want them to grow up. I don't want them to grow
I
up.
was that way until they're about age 5, and then I wanted the rest of the way to go. Speed through.
I'm like bummed that Georgia wants to go to college out of state. I'm bummed that. Like I do
they give you shit about being a public person and affecting their? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like what?
Like I said, I go, hey, you know, we're doing, I don't know, whatever. We're doing Red Rocks, and I said, why don't you guys fly to Red Rocks? We'll look at a bunch of colleges around Colorado, and I was like, and we'll take my tour bus, and we'll be comfortable, and we don't have to drive. We can really enjoy ourselves. And George's like, no, I'm not getting in your fucking tour bus and pulling up to fucking Colorado State with your face on the side of it. And I was like, oh,
yeah, I guess
that would
right.
be weird.
Yeah.
And then you could almost feel her think, she didn't say it, but be like, I don't even want you there.
Yeah,
because all of a sudden it becomes about people recognizing you.
No, I get that from my kids a lot.
Yeah, and you're like, huh?
And you don't want it to be that way at all. You just want them to be a dad at a college.
Yeah, and
it's not like you're creating it, but they put it in your lap.
I was like, don't worry. And like I said to Leanne, I'm not even joking. I was like, should I like shave my beard off? Like really like just like shave like a goatee or something so that I don't look recognizable, so that Georgia can be a regular human being and go on a college campus as opposed to go on with me. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh shit, the machine. And then I'm like, what's up? And then they're like, dude, we're going to a bar tonight.
Ugh.
You got it. And I don't want that for
Bring
her.
your daughter. She's like,
oh shit, that's your daughter? And then I'm like, okay. Like that's happened to her. That's happened to her a bunch, where it's all like some boys recognize me and then find out who she is.
Oh.
And then it's not, they just it didn't work out well.
I'm going to predict that when they're adults, strip clubs are going to be a little less comfortable for you, I suspect.
Oh, it stopped being comfortable when they were babies.
Yeah.
When they were babies. The last time I got a lap dance was when
2 weeks ago.
I got a lap dance. I got a lap dance in Fort Wayne, Indiana, but it was a joke lap dance. It was a fun one.
Right.
And then before
this
that,
is the one that you would have been having sex.
The last one I got. No, that was at Christie's in Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out to Christie's. It is a great strip club.
Okay.
It is. And that girl at Christie's, fuck yeah. But I'll tell you how long ago that was. That was in probably around 2007, 2000. I know it was before my Comedy Central special, which I think was 2009.
Georgia's 16 now?
Georgia's 16. Georgia was maybe 3. And that's when I stopped getting lap dances. Okay. So I was like, no, this is, all I could see was that the strippers were people too. Isn't that crazy?
Well, the last time, but listen, the last time, it's one of the problems I have. Last time I was in a strip club was my bachelor party, and I had half a dozen conversations with these women about their pap smears and their HPV and their cervical cancer and their LEEP procedures. I mean, every one of them wanted to, and I was like, wow, this is okay.
Jesus.
Speaking of strange things, you wanted to talk a little bit about Armie Hammer and Trevor Bauer and what.
Yeah. I'm always curious about like the Trevor Bauer thing. You don't know anything about that?
There was a woman that got beat up and then looked back and went, I didn't want that, essentially.
Yeah.
Because this is the problem if you're into aggressive stuff.
I've never been into aggressive sex.
I'm just saying,
ever.
Anyone who is, good on you. But the problem is that you can the threshold between, hey, that's exciting and that's traumatizing, you may not know where that is. And certainly your partner may not know where that is. So you can easily be re-traumatized. And when they're re-traumatized, they're pissed. And they should be, because it triggers horrible, horrible feelings. And I fear that that's something that happened here.
Yeah, what's funny is I have a friend, I'll tell you who it is, but you got to bleep his name out. But bleep it out so that people can guess his name, okay? His name is Ari here. And so, but he's always been very open about liking rough sex. And when the Me Too thing started, I was like, hey man, how like you gotta like be careful. And he was like, no, I'm very open with my partner. I share it with them before. This is how I like to do it. But this and then but that's how it works. And I was like, oh, as very like, okay.
And he's way into that stuff.
Into rough sex?
Listen to some of the upcoming After Darks. And you'll hear a bit about it.
Well, I remember the first person.
He taught me something about my wife too, which I didn't know.
What did he teach you?
He said she's into that stuff too.
For real?
Did he not, gentlemen?
How could he tell?
I don't know. He can tell who is in and not.
Wow. Hey, I want him to point. Oh, never mind. And so,
well, I'll ask about Leanne.
I want to have. He's met her. Just ask him real quick. Text him somebody. But I remember one of my buddies, one time when we first moved out to LA, he hooked up with this chick and he had sex with her upstairs on my couch, and I was downstairs. And he came down the next morning. He was traumatized, and he was like, I don't know what the fuck happened last night. And I go, what do you mean? And he was like, we were having sex, and then she asked me to choke her.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what? And I was like, you didn't do it, dude. Because I don't know if this sounds really bumpkin-y, but like at Florida State, no one asked people to choke each other. Like that was not a thing. Like I don't remember. I never ever heard smacking someone on an ass cheek was like the biggest you could do.
No.
And you only did that for show so you could tell your friends. And then I smacked her on the ass. I was like, who's your daddy? Or like something like that. And I was like, people like being choked? And he was like, I guess. He was like, I'll never fucking be around that girl again. He was like, it was a trap. It was a trap. That's what they do. They trap you. I tried it a little bit, but I'm not going to do it. And you're like, oh yeah. And then this Trevor Bauer thing, I'm sure this Trevor Bauer guy doesn't want anyone talking about this, but it is like, it doesn't look like, I don't know how punching someone in the face can even be construed as rough sex.
You mean why it's included in
how's that included?
How's that
or
sexual?
Punching someone in the vagina?
No,
or
I
like,
don't get it at all. I don't get much of any of it, frankly.
Okay, so here's the deal. So I don't get it, and I don't get it, and I don't get people that are into it.
Yeah.
I don't understand
But
that.
we're not judging.
I'm not judging.
Yeah.
Well, but that's
fact,
but
that's why
where,
I bring it up.
But that's where it comes back.
Yeah.
Is that I don't get it, nor do I actually, nor can I approve of it. Same with Armie Hammer, right? I want to eat your whatever he says.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But it's a weird thing that other people that don't get it now throw them out and then shame them for the thing that they like.
Right. By the way, the same people that are doing that are the ones that talk about how we're supposed to be accepting of all behaviors.
Yeah.
Like people, I feel terrible for the Trevor Bauer thing.
Trevor Bauer thing
different.
is a little
But Armie Hammer, I actually felt bad for him, and if he has some issue, and I hope he gets treatment for it. But to be ostracized because somebody outed him for some weird sexual whatever.
Well, it seems like he got ostracized for a lot of things. It seemed like he got ostracized because of his family, his name.
Well, that is a bit.
Is like all this added into one thing.
I think you're right. I think there's a lot of people of privilege need to be knocked down as hard as possible, and if they give you any ammunition for that, we're taking it. Right?
It's so funny because Instagram is set up to only for people to put out the best sides of themselves.
Yeah.
But then a celebrity accidentally shows you how big their house is during quarantine, like Ellen DeGeneres, and then they're like, fuck her.
Yeah.
Fuck her. I want to show you how big my house is, but fuck her for having a big house.
Yeah.
And it's this weird kind of shaming thing going on. And the Armie Hammer one really kind of screwed me up because I was like, I don't know. I didn't read everything. I don't know all the details. But it did sound like it was something he was into.
Yeah.
And I have
or
friends.
at least talking about it, he was into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Like I didn't even sound like he did anything.
Yeah.
He just, I want to eat your.
Yeah, whatever.
I guess that turns him on.
Yeah, whatever. I don't think he hurt
and
anybody.
you don't get to pick what turns you on. Like,
well,
I'll tell you what really turns me on, and I don't know why.
Besides JD.
Besides, well, obviously, I've told this to Leanne, but like rubber cleaning gloves.
Oh wow!
Like the yellow,
it's like a foot
yellow
fetish.
rubber cleaning gloves.
That's what people. That's what people
pull them up, and I'll try not to get hard.
I'll try not to throw.
And
up.
by the way, there's not enough porns in yellow rubber cleaning gloves.
Well, you know what's interesting to me? So that fits with what we think happens with foot fetishes. That the little,
I have a foot fetish too. Keep going.
Well, so the little kid is sort of by the mom's feet and is very highly aroused by being around mom, not in an intensive emotional way, not really in a sexual way per se, but that wiring turns into sexuality about age 12, 13. And so that intensity of mom and the gloves or the feet or what you're near when you're visually getting this material gets converted into kind of a sexual arousal.
I think, can I tell you where I think my base for the yellow gloves is? I think superheroes.
Could be.
Like Wonder Woman.
So Wonder Woman had
Catwoman. Okay. Like all the superheroes had gloves on.
Yep.
And it could because I also had a thing for like any bondage stuff or quicksand.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
We talked about quicksand.
Yeah.
And
but like it's like those were my triggers where
but they're all
see
TV.
them.
It's all stuff television age 11 to 14.
For me, it was like Wonder Woman getting tied up or the boogaloos or like not the boogaloo.
This is what we ended up talking about last time.
Yeah, and so I can't control that. I don't know why that happens to me, right?
It happens to all males that between 11 and 14, the things that they find intensely arousing become preferences. So I told you last time, that's what worries me. Now they're looking at porn and stuff, horrible stuff. And what's gonna be their preferences out of that? Because if you had porn, Wonder Woman's gloves wouldn't have been so interesting to you. You know what I mean? You had other arousing images that would have superseded that.
Oh my God, I just realized that. Yeah, if I had seen porn,
then
whoa, that's crazy. So I was looking for sexuality.
Correct. I did. How about Genie? I Dream of Genie. You know, that's where a lot of guys, a lot of young teenagers, that was their thing. Or this was the image they could get.
Oh my God, how beautiful and innocent, and how sad that we've lost that because now kids just see fucking just hardcore cream pies and they're like, that's my thing, is watching cum drip out of a woman's pussy. I don't know where it came from.
And we don't know yet what the impact of that's going to be. We have no idea.
Oh my God.
It seems like, by the way, one of the things that's happening, it's creating a certain amount of aversion. And maybe it's adding to all the gender stuff too. Maybe it's adding to the gender confusion.
Oh, you definitely know if you were bisexual now because
also,
you can watch everything.
I've heard some women, I've literally had them, and I'm not saying this is the cause of, this is a source of gender fluidity or anything. I'm just saying I have heard this, that some women will say that are now transgender, that they saw porn when they were 11 or 12. But I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want to be a woman. I have to subject myself to that. No way. I'm not a woman. I must not be a woman because I don't want to do that.
Well, I was thinking the exact opposite. How cool would it be to not know anything about sex whatsoever, start clicking videos and find the shit you like and go, oh yeah, it turns out I'm gay. Like I like these porns the best. Because I cannot watch, there's a part of me that is so old school that I go, I can't watch gay porn. Like I just can't. I'm not cut from that cloth. Like I've seen it. I can make jokes about it. Like it doesn't bother me, but like this, even if I'm like scrolling,
yeah.
Even in my most honest moments, I can't go, and nothing's turning me on. I'm like, I can't find anything. I cannot bring myself to go. So let's just check out the gay stuff, see if that does it. Like I cannot do it. Just go click, and then go, fuck, that's working. All right, you know.
So I was well. First of all, the images may shape what works too. You know what I mean? What they find they like, they may go further downstream, and it might shape it, which is what worries me. Number one. Number two, I was part of a study once where they did functional MRIs on people looking at sexual imagery. And turns out I'm very interested in heterosexual images of pretty people. But they also put men stuff up there too. And when I was in the scanner, it was a functional MRI scanner, the images would come up. I really didn't have any. I was like, I see what they're doing. They give me, and then I saw my brain in response to it, huge threat response, like threat, like alarm. And I thought, wow, I had no conscious experience of that at all.
Oh, I would do that MRI. I would love to find out what my brain thinks about that. That is,
it's sort of an interesting. You know what it is? It's a great model for racism and sexism and all those things to understand that you could have these biases and really not be aware of it. So you got to pay attention.
I wonder. The other day I was. This is all based off of I couldn't find something to jack off to. I was just scrolling and everything. I was like, I wish I could clean up my searches. Like I can't anything. There's certain things I just can't.
It's sort of interesting to me that now people are being identified by, well, what do you search for when you do your porn?
That's the
what
next
do you look
thing.
for?
Well, this is where the thought came from. This Armie Hammer thing is like, what would he look at? What's going to stop them from going? This is Bert Kreischer's Pornhub searches, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa. What the fuck's up with this stepson, stepmother thing?
Right.
And I'm like, that's all that comes up.
Right.
Like that's all that comes up for me is stepmother, stepson, sister, brother. Like that's all that comes up in the things, and I can't, in good conscience, click on it because I don't want to see someone younger fucking someone older.
Right.
And then I was like, and then I realized that if anything that was a big black dick and a chick, I just clicked off immediately. I was like, no.
Does that threaten you?
And I then said, hold on. Why is that? What is that? Because
I bet it's the same thing. This threat thing goes on.
I guarantee if you put me in that MRI, you'd see. But you know what it is? I think the porn industry is racist. I think they don't ever show loving black guy with white chick. They show black guy with white chick going, yeah.
Yes.
Like you say it, suck it, bitch. Like it's never like sweet and loving. It's this like fucking aggression. And I go, and then I was like, oh my God. So if that's what I'm seeing here, how much other programming have they put into me?
Oh, who knows?
Where is like?
And once they get a hold of AI, watch out, right?
Dude, you have me at my most vulnerable. A great place to put information into an unwitting brain. My dick's hard, right? I'm jerking off. I don't even realize information's going in.
Right.
I don't even realize you're doing this to me, and you got me every day for an hour. You got me going on your site. And I was like, this is fucking mind control at its finest.
Does Leanne know it's every day for an hour?
That's not an hour. It's fucking 10 minutes probably.
Does Leanne know it's every day?
No, I don't know if she knows that I jerk off the way I jerk off. Like, she doesn't know that like I look at it like a treat. It's like a treat.
Yeah.
Where I go,
Oh, you and treats again.
oh,
Here we go.
one of my best feelings.
Treats.
One of the greatest feelings in the world. Tell me if you're not going to identify with this. Nadav, have you ever been like, this is more a comic thing. Sometimes as a comic, you'll like get in the elevator, you'll hit the door, you'll be like going up to your room, and all of a sudden your brain will be like, hey, I haven't jacked off yet today. And you're like, oh, I got a treat coming my way.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, a little
I get
check
that.
off session. I mean, for me, it's if I'm on the road, it's once a day, easily. There's no reason not to.
Are you feel alone, or it's just a treat?
I hope I'm alone.
No. I mean, does it sad? Does it somehow respond? Are you trying to?
No, just a treat.
Just treat. Yeah.
Just a treat. There's no connection to it. This podcast is brought to you by Policy Genius. You need life insurance. That is number one. If you have a child or a parent, anyone that depends on you, you need life insurance. And if you don't have life insurance, I'm telling you, you're in a shit boat right now, in my opinion. Policy Genius makes it easy to compare quotes from over a dozen of the top insurers all in one place. Why compare? You can save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. You could save $1,300 or more per year on life insurance by using Policy Genius to compare policies. Licensed experts at Policy Genius work for you, not the insurance companies, so you can trust that they're going to help you navigate every step of the shopping and buying process. That's the kind of service that's earned Policy Genius thousands of 5-star reviews across Trustpilot and Google, and eligible applicants can get covered in as little as a week. And thanks to an award-winning policy option that swaps standard medical exam requirements for a simple phone call. That's a fucking game changer. This exclusive policy was recently rated #1 by Forbes Advisor, higher than options from Ladder, Ethos, and Bestos. Go get yourself life insurance right now. Head to policygenius.com/2bears1cave. That's the number 2 bears 1, the number 1 cave to get started right now. That's policygenius.com/2bears1cave. Policy Genius. When it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right. Yeah, but
and by the way, and this is back to the shaming part we were talking about, and why they shame people for this stuff. There's nothing wrong with any of this, right?
Well, there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. But then here's the deal, right? So the other day, I'm on Pornhub, and it's young teen gets blasted or something, and I go, no, I'm not. I can't be a part of that. Yeah. By the way, I can't visualize that because I go, that's got to be like just 2 years older than my kids.
Yeah.
And so but then I thought, right, how one time Leanne and I and a friend were cleaning out the friend's boyfriend's apartment. He was out of town.
Boyfriends.
So
okay.
Leanne's best friend, her boyfriend was moving, and we were going to help them move. He was out of town. And he had a magazine that was called Barely Legal, which, by the way, was a very popular magazine at a point. And Leanne and her freaked out because they were like, oh my God, he's into kiddie porn. And I was like, no, I wanted to defend him and be like, no, Barely Legal is like, it's just a branding. It's not. And then I didn't say anything because I was like,
he may or may not be, right?
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything.
Does the girlfriend look a certain way?
No, she does not look Barely Legal.
Because sometimes
she was barely fuckable, in my opinion, and intolerable. Now, but my point is, so just as quickly as I was going to defend him in that moment, and was like, hold on, that's just the brand. It's called Barely Legal. Obviously, they're all above age. You couldn't put out a magazine of underage children.
It's still weird that a guy has a preference of young
Barely Legal, but it's all over to porn.
No, I know.
Type in porn, it's like young teen, young this, and you're like, and I then jumped on their side and was like, yeah, and that's kind of the weird thing that happens with kink shaming is like, what if they came up and they were like, yo, Donald Trump, or not Donald Trump's a bad example, Arnold Schwarzenegger watched a porn that said young teen gets fucked in frat house. Yeah. And everyone would be like, whoa. And they'd hate him. And I go, that is accessible. You can find that in people's phones. People's digital. That's why I'm never fucking, I don't know what I've Googled online, you know? And if they started finding that for you, that you destroy every man. I would pay money. To be able to see what people have searched for on the internet. That's got to be the next
weirdest
thing.
stuff.
That's got to be the next thing. North Korea wants to take us down.
Well, in a weird way, that's sort of what Christina does with TikTok, isn't it?
Oh,
and that's sort of her, her brain at work going downstream on TikTok. It's not exactly an explicit word search, but you can see where it ends up.
Mine's just Puerto Rican guys getting their hair cut. That's all I fucking saw.
What?
That's all I watch.
Why?
I have no fucking idea.
I've never even seen one of those.
Boats getting launched. Boats in trouble. Puerto Rican guys getting their hair cut. It's so many, like they come in like chupacabra, like just fucking all over the place, and then you just watch them slowly clean them up. It's fucking, it's erotic.
How do they know that you like it?
My phone knows it.
You must just lie. Your eyes must stay on it. They can even track where your eyes are going.
My phone tells me shit that I don't need to know. Where that isn't, like this morning I woke up and it's like, Joe Coy's dating Chelsea Handler. And I was like, how the fuck did you know I wanted to know that? I was like, yeah, well, you motherfucker. My phone was up all night last night going, wait, what would Bert? Bert's going to love this. And then grabs it and then puts it in my first thing on my feed. And then I'm like, I should text Joe Coy and find out if it's true. And then I'm like, I don't care. My phone did such a good job.
It is a weird time.
It is crazy what I have a show.
I
have a show called, that I used to do. I'm going to start doing it again. It's called Open Tabs, where I would leave all the tabs open that I Googled throughout the weekend and then go live or just go through and close them and share with you what was interesting in that tab and what I learned in that tab.
That's a great idea.
And so I'm going to start doing it again.
You'll have a full discourse on caviar.
I will tell you everything you need to know about caviar. I will tell everything.
But the one reason that will especially work is you're like Joe Rogan. You're curious, and so you'll
my curiosity here. I'll show you what was in my tabs. You'll get a kick out of my tabs.
On your phone.
Yeah, hold on, because it was. Let's see. What? My brain. I'm fucking slowing down, Drew.
You're 47 or 48.
I'm like.
Wait till you're my age. Do you know how old I am? Tomorrow?
No.
By the way?
How old are you?
Guess. Tomorrow.
56.
63.
What? Oh, I get to look like that at 60? If I just stopped drinking, I could look like you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I spent a good bit of, I watched, this is all fucking super telling. This maybe isn't the right time to share these.
Oh no.
No, because I don't know certain things. I don't want, like, I'm going to say stuff and then
Has to do with
like,
your family or something?
No. Fucking Larry Elders. I'm curious about him because everyone's like, I just was like, oh, I'll vote for Larry Elders. And I was like, I don't know anything about Larry Elders at all. And then I listened to this great speech he gave about his dad and his dad having a fight. What is your book about?
Yeah, my daughter and I wrote a book. I'm just going to give it to Bert.
Your daughter and you?
Yeah. Leanne needs this for your daughters.
Oh, me and my daughters will never write a book. I'd be shocked if we read a book.
My daughter went to Columbia and got a writing degree and all this stuff, and they started talking about doing a book on consent, and I said, well, you ought to have a young person in here. My daughter's a writer. Let's bring her in and do it. And it turned out pretty good.
There's a book about consent?
Consent and about boundaries and about all the questions that sort of 15 to 18-year-olds had.
Are there pictures?
No pictures. It's not a sex book so much because those are all out there. We just sort of like trying to help people.
Gender expression. Naming is claiming. Gender is complicated. It is.
It is, right. So
I wish I had my glasses on. I can only read the fucking
anyway,
chapters.
let give it to Leanne or your girls.
I'm going to give it to my girls.
Yeah.
George is a big writer.
Yeah, well, tell her that I would appreciate her feedback even.
I would love it. George is a fucking hardcore.
Smart.
She's like, I made it.
It's funny. I can see smart on people, and I could see it on her. Yeah.
You should have seen her at that fucking party.
I did.
Just processing.
At your party?
Yeah.
Yeah,
processing my friends and being like, of course you're friends with this guy. And I was like,
judgmental.
Though she got in the car. One of my really good friends who she had never met. She meets, and then as I introduce him, I realize the things I like about him are the things she dislikes about me, and I'm watching this happening. And then she's like this, and looking at me, and then he walks away, and she goes, "Of course you like that guy." And I go, "Why?" And she goes, "Did he vote for Trump?" I go, "He actually did." She was like, "Oh yeah, you and him must have a fucking." Let me guess, do you guys get wasted and stay up till 2 a.m? And I was like, about 4, but yeah.
She is going to go to one of the schools that my kids went to. I'm sure of this.
I wish I could pick her school for her. I already decided I will be the dad. Whatever school she goes to, I'm covering myself head to toe in that gear. I will be supporting that college.
Yeah, it's fun.
I will. And then I was like, and then my brain's like, I really hope she goes to Boulder. I want her to go to Boulder so bad.
Really?
Yeah, so bad.
Does she look east?
No, she doesn't want to go. She doesn't know anything about the world.
Yeah.
And so she says things like, I don't want to go to a Florida school. And I was like, why? She's like, because you know what they're like. And I was like, they're fucking amazing. I was like, you're being small-minded. Like, she's like, I don't want to go to one of those big party schools. And I was like, dude, but hold on. They're fun as fucking shit.
She needs to talk to me about
Yeah.
I got to talk to her about small schools because I know a lot about them.
She wants to.
I went there. All my kids went to them. So
Yeah, and so we're going to look at colleges. We're putting the hard sell on colleges.
go
right
have
now.
a look at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's awesome. 199.
Good luck with this child, Drew.
Okay, let me talk to her.
I get told. She told me the other day I had a joke, and she goes, "You're not telling that on stage." And I was like, "No, I am." And she goes, "No, you're not." And I was like, "Why?" And she goes, "Because then I get the fucking kids that come up to me and like, hey, your dad's fucking. See what your dad said?" And I'm like, "It doesn't go." She goes, "No, it goes directly back to me." And I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll just try to rework it."
Whenever I get shit, one of the shit storms, whenever I get into one,
it comes to your kids.
they get death threats and stuff too. Horrible stuff gets through to them.
Oh, then maybe I won't tell that joke.
So it's really, people are awful. Well, what did you want to ask about China?
China. Last two things. Well, no, we can do a little bit over 130, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. China is the other thing I've learned about. They are going to run the fucking world.
They already do.
We better fucking watch out. We've been sleeping too long. Do you know what they just did today? They outlawed effeminate men on television.
Wow.
They got rid. Type that in Google or Carlos.
Wow.
I think something's wrong with my brain. Carlos Nadav.
That's his new nickname. Just so you know, Carlos. Let's go. Come on, Carlos. Carlos.
I'm fucking.
Oh God.
Yeah.
There it is.
Effeminate men.
Campaign to tighten social control. See, this is China in and of itself is not the problem. The problem is that they can do shit like this.
They do shit like this.
Yeah.
They've allowed children 3 hours of internet time
on the weekends.
No,
that's for gaming. They can go on the internet, but for gaming, 3 hours on the weekend.
And they are. I mean, the way they fucking run their country is just insane. Do you know that you gotta sign up for a lottery to get a car? And then if you get a car, it's got to be electric. Like there's so many fucking people out there that their pollution's through the fucking roof.
Yeah, so it's like
and it's so tightly controlled.
It's like California.
And you go around the rest of the world, and like when we were in Serbia, I was like, God, this fucking interstate seems different than the other ones. And they're like, oh, China's building it.
Well, that's what they do. This is the part that's insidious. I read some articles about this where they go in, they befriend local leaders, they build them some infrastructure, so they're indebted to them. They bring their children over and maybe marry with some of the local people. So now you have family embedded there, and now you're in. Now you got it.
We'll never be able to beat China.
I don't
the
think
mentality
so.
of America.
But
We're split on COVID fucking vaccinations.
Yes.
And fucking China's just like
eating our lives. They love this.
Hey, we poked them while they slept. They're good.
Well, they don't want us to go away because they need our markets and all that stuff. They need us to buy their shit.
Oh, good.
But they don't want us to be anything in the world.
And
we're falling right in. We're falling right in line. So far, so good, everybody. How we like it so far? It's good. It's crazy.
What like they could? Do you know they have one time zone?
Really? It's crazy.
How fucked up is that?
Yeah.
That they went, yeah. We'll just all go on the same watch. Is everyone cool with that? And they're like, yeah. There's 5 different time zones.
They don't ask.
They don't ask.
They just go,
Can
here's
you
what we're
imagine how fucking crazy that is? That they just all.
Listen, when the Wuhan outbreak occurred and they had all those things they did that our press decided we should do, that wasn't medical. That was just face saving for the government leaders.
Really?
Oh my God! There's no medical textbook that says roll down the streets with chloride-containing trucks. And what was that? It was just so the leader could go, see what I did. I took care of it.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. That was not medical. And then that's why I went so crazy when people were like, we got to do that. We got to do that. I'm like, I was like, at the time, I just listened to Fauci. Just listen to Fauci. Just do what he tells you. Just shut up on the press. Shut up. And the shitstorm ensued for me.
I mean, China is fucking no joke.
Yeah.
All those Asian countries, when you start hearing about it, like, this is going to sound horrific.
Here we go.
But like, I got really into Kim Jong-un and that whole family and just how that all kind of happened. And then at one point I found myself going, technically, the North Korean people are to blame for him oppressing them. Because if he at any time lightens up, they're just going to kill him in the most horrific way.
Right.
Like they're going to go, oh, wait, we got a little freedom. Let's fucking get rid of this guy.
Well,
so he's got to oppress them just to stay alive. Just to stay alive, he's got to fucking be the worst human being alive.
Humans generally turn on not oppressive leaders, but leader where too much power is concentrated. Like whether we're in a tribe or whether we're in a country, humans have a tendency to scapegoat and kill people that they put in power.
Yeah.
We do that. That's a common thing.
Gaddafi. By the way, I'm saying his name right for the first time in my entire life. There's a great podcast. Have you listened to the podcast, The Dictators?
No. I think I did once. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I think I would have been a good dictator. I tell you what, I would have been a great dictator's child.
Oh my God, you would have been the best.
Fucking
yeah. Just a king's child.
Like no responsibility, just like answer to the guy that is 2 steps below my dad, and he's like, "Oh, we've got another problem with your son."
Prince of Fredonia.
Is it a dead person in his car again? Not this time. He went into the zoo and kidnapped it. What accent am I doing?
Remember, you watch what's that? What's the movie? The TV series about Succession. You watched that movie? Oh, it's a good series.
What's Succession? I know that.
It's a business leader who has a bunch of kids.
Oh no, yeah.
But he ends up, one of them has a dead person in his car.
Oh, I definitely could.
It's a good movie, good series. Very.
I remember when I was in college, they were like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "An heir." And they were like, "Are you going to inherit money?" And I was like, "I hope so."
Oh.
I wanted to inherit money so bad. Like I had no frame of reference for work.
In a weird way, your life turned out better than just being an heir.
I know. And you know what? Can I tell you that the person that gave that to me was the one that I thought if I was going to inherit money, it would be from him.
Yeah.
And he was like, I remember it was my Uncle Jerry. He was the best thing that ever happened to me. Him and my dad are like really close.
Yeah.
But they were really close in like me deciding to go off and do what I did. And my Uncle Jerry was like, move to New York, and in 3 months, if this comedy thing hasn't worked out, give me a call. I'll see what I can do. And meaning like he'd get me a job at one of his companies. Yeah. And I was like, okay. So I gave it 3 months. I gave him a call, and I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't know. I'm still going to pursue comedy, but it's been 3 months. And he goes, tell you what, work a little bit harder. Give it another 3 months. And I was like, okay. So I worked a little harder, and then in 3 months later, I remember he came up to New York, and I was like, I don't know. It's just not really popping the way I thought it would. And he goes, give it another 3 months. And I go, Jerry, I gave it like 6 months. And he goes, and you're going to keep giving it 3 months, and then another 3 months until it fucking happens, because that's how you get things. You just keep working. And I went, oh. And then I remember I got my first deal. I moved out to LA. I had a TV show, and I called my Uncle Jerry, and I was like, hey, thanks for never giving me the easy way out. And he was like, I could not have gotten you a job at any of my companies. He was like, you are not qualified for anything.
You better stay
he was
with
like,
comedy.
what the fuck? He goes, you thought I was going to give you a job? And I was like, yeah, right? And he was like,
God.
never.
Oh, God, that's
never
funny.
in a million years, man.
Fantastic.
You work for me. And I go, don't you own like a hat company in Honduras? And he was like, you wanted a job at a hat company? And I was like, yeah, he had like a hat factory or something. And I was like, I can make fucking Panama hats and smoke cigars all day.
Well, congratulations, because it's better than being an heir is doing something you love and having fun at it, and the stuff flows towards you anyway.
Okay, last thing.
Okay.
So I have acquired what we like to call mushrooms, boutique mushrooms.
Okay.
Now I haven't done mushrooms in a very long time, but
these are psilocybin-containing mushrooms.
Psilocybin-containing mushrooms, and they're like the high-end ones that are going around where like they're
strong.
No. They're meaning they're very pure. It's not like the shit someone just are selling me a bag of fucking mushrooms. And so, and they're dosed out in chocolate bars.
Okay.
And so, I had such a fear of death leading up that everyone witnessed on this podcast.
Up to the surgery.
So up to the surgery, that I came out and I saw this documentary on Netflix called like The Magic Mushrooms and
it's very good for end of life dread. Very good.
And so I that day I just got mushrooms, and I was like, I'm going to take mushrooms and I'm going to try to solve this dread of death.
Did you do it?
I'm getting them today.
Oh,
yeah. And I was going to take them to Red Rocks.
There is,
and I was going to eat them at Jimmy Buffett.
Here's my concern. is some of it needs to be sort of guided. Usually the literature is kind of mixed, but you got to have somebody kind of guiding you, right? You got a therapeutic context. You don't have to, but that improves it generally. And if you're just taking a big dose, it can actually change a lot about you even sometimes. So it might be if you're taking a big enough dose to get rid of the dread, it might. Now, if you're really at the end of life, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Right? Let it do that to you. As long as you don't have the dread of end of life stuff, it's only going to be another.
I just got panic right then as you said that. I don't want it to change me.
Right.
Like the last time I took them.
Maybe you've taken them before and been okay.
I've taken them. No, I've taken them. I've taken them. I don't know if I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I really honestly don't know if I'm okay from it. But I've taken them. I've always had fun on them.
Yeah.
Whereas and I've taken very light doses where you just have a good time. And then the last time I took them on. I didn't take them on accident, but I took them on accident, kind of.
Yeah.
We were at. We have 4 shows at the. We were playing in the Dallas Funny Bone, the Addison Funny Bone, and it was a Saturday, and it was right before the late show. On Saturday. Now, what I didn't know is we had 3 shows on Saturday. I thought we had 2.
Oof.
And the person I was with, I won't say his name, but I want to so bad. But I won't say his name. Said, let's all eat mushrooms. And so we all ate mushrooms
before the shows.
Before the second show.
Oh.
And we got done, and I was like, "Cool, let's go party." And they're like, "Oh, we have one more show."
Oh.
And I was like, "Hold on 1 second. I didn't know we had one more show."
Oh.
And all of a sudden, the mushrooms kicked in when I was on stage for the late show. And the candles were waving really aggressively. And I got done, and I thought to myself, what if I broke my brain? Like, I still have 2 little girls. By the way, they were like 5 and 3 at the time, maybe even younger. And I was like, I still have 2 little girls that I need to take care of, and I haven't set up. And if I fucked my brain up, then how the fuck? And I had such a panic attack.
So here's the deal. Mushrooms usually are fine. LSD, it's a different thing. I've seen lots of disasters from that. Mushrooms, it's usually fine.
Yeah.
The question is, A, do you have to have a guided experience? And B, can you take enough to really get rid of the dread and not change other things?
Yeah.
So be careful.
I was thinking I was going to do I was going to microdose and then build my way up from there throughout the night.
I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? There's no.
I don't know what it means either.
Yeah, there's no.
By the way, I'm the doctor in this.
Yeah, you are
surgery,
and so
I'm the anesthesiologist.
Maybe do one of your deep dives and see what they suggest. But I just worry about what's downstream from it always. If you're doing enough to have a change, you're talking about changing your brain, right? You want to change the anxiety and the dread.
Oh yeah. So I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and
so
again, if your life is ending and you change your brain, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Right? That's why personally, I would take a huge dose at end of life. I would definitely do that for sure.
Yeah.
Even change it, who cares? I'm going to be changing in a few weeks anyway.
Oh, right? God damn it. That's not my fucking, that's exactly what my anxiety I don't need.
What?
Oh, fuck. Who cares? I'm not changing anyway. You are the last person I need to fucking see before
one thing I realized when I got into internal medicine, everything comes back.
I don't know if I want to hear this.
Everything goes back to the internist when it's time to die.
Oh, okay.
When all the specialists are done and everybody's done, then they go, you go see a regular doctor and he'll finish this off. We have nothing else to offer. And that was a daily thing forever, And so I've seen lots of death. It's a very definite reality once you get used to it. It's just like as definite as birth. It's sort of a part of life. And the fact that we hide it.
This has been a great episode of Two Bears, One Cave.
I've never seen you do that. It's like Willy Wonka with the little flute. Like I'm out of here. So it can be as gracious and as what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of it can be as much of a celebration as birth can be. It can be.
Yeah, no, I bet.
I'm telling you, you may not like it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not going to like it.
But, by the way, you take some of the advice we've talked about here today, and they won't have it for a long, 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 long time.
Move to China and take some mushrooms.
You'll be burned out and tired by then. You're ready to go anyway. So.
Hey, thanks for doing this. Thanks for doing this.
The good news is the reason you feel that way is you love life so much. And
I love life too much.
And you love people, and you love partying, and you love all the stuff you get to do. So congratulations. I'm glad you get to do that. So that's the good side.
I'm partying tonight. I'll tell you that. I wouldn't be shocked if I started early. I got my mushrooms delivered at 12:30.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We'll see who you are on the other side.
Well, I'll see you guys after Red Rocks. Maybe it'll be the same Bert or a different Bert. Drew, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
I love this so much.
I have so much fun talking to you.
Anytime we could talk for hours. Let me come do your podcast. We'll talk some
Yeah,
more.
I do. I got a new podcast too. You come by to see the new house.
Oh yes, I'd love to do that. So,
Maybe we'll have you guys over for dinner.
I'm actually going to France tomorrow. For 2 weeks. Yeah, I've been working really hard on getting fluent in French, so I'm like pretty good now.
What are you doing? Just going to party?
We had some friends that were going. When I was sick with COVID, I was lying there going, "This is ridiculous. I can be completely checked out and miserable. I can just check out and go do something fun too." So it's sort of my weird thinking I had. So we went to Greece, and now we're going to France, and some friends of ours were there, and they said, "You want to come?" I said, "Yes, we'll come there. We'll come. We'll do it." So that's sort of the mode I'm in right now.
Enjoy France.
Yeah. So when we get back, dinner.
Yeah,
I will bug
when
you.
you get back.
I will bug you.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bug Leanne.
Thank you so much.
Bug Leanne or bug you?
Bug Leanne.
Okay, right, good.
I got a new phone number. Have you got my new phone number yet?
No.
It's interesting. You get to pass it. Nadav, you got my new phone number, right?
Carlos, you mean?
Carlos. Oh shit.
What?
My mushrooms guy's texting me.
Oh, good.
All right, I gotta go.
All right.
Love you.
See ya. Bye.
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call 2 Bears, 1 Cave. No scripts, a bit of booze, amateur partology. Dirty jokes, raunchy humor, no apologies. Here's what we call 2 Bears, 1 Cave.